Good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome. Good morning. This is Tuesday. This is episode 461 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. What's going on this morning, fellas? Mike, are you on?
I don't think he's on.
Man, I am ready to go.
All right. That's the one
I
thing
keep
about Mike.
I have it muted before because my kid's running around and I always forget to unmute it.
See, that's one of the downfalls. Now, yesterday I was going on about about Mike needs to continue drinking early in the morning to help him on the show. But the only thing is he keeps forgetting to like turn his microphone on and he forgets where he's at sometime. But you know what?
I didn't have a drink today.
Oh, jeez.
I know. So in 5 minutes I'll be screaming and ranting and raving at both of you for no reason.
And you still forgot to get your mic.
And I still forgot that. Well, I have it muted, just never know what the kid's going to be saying before we get on the air. So,
Yeah.
It is what it is, boys.
How you doing this morning, Darpy?
Good, 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 good.
Good. Good. Some Monday Night Football last night, guys.
Ooh.
This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I say, well, all the people that says, "Hey, I don't want the Steelers to get in; they're going to get killed." Well, guess what? Last night, the Tennessee Titans, who the Steelers
Yes.
beats the great Miami Dolphins, the team that with the all the records and Tyreek Hill and the passing and the receiving and the scoring and the 70 points this season in a game. And Tennessee wins this football game against Miami. And then also Green Bay, who worked and fought their way into a playoff spot, they lose to the Giants.
Any given Sunday.
Danny DeVito at quarterback, leading the Giants over
So
the
that's
Packers.
my
Yeah.
argument. Why, at this point, if you could get in, because whatever
Yeah.
is going on in this league, it just might benefit the Steelers if they could in fact get into the playoffs.
Yeah. Can you say fraud alert? Miami Dolphins.
Right. I
Like
don't know what to say though.
like when the Steelers won 11-0, everyone's like, "Oh my god, they're just so lucky to win." Look at Miami. They have yet to beat a team with a winning record, and then now they lose to the hapless Tennessee Titans.
You know who
I,
they you know who they would beat that has a winning record, right?
us.
They would kill us. They would
Yeah,
kill
hey,
us.
but they're not playing us right now, so I don't care. Hey,
You know what
we
I mean?
do have the Steelers do have the toughest schedule in the NFL,
They do.
and we are battle tested. We are ready to go.
They better get their battle tested asses ready because if they don't win these next four games, they're going to be going home and watching the playoffs with us from the couch.
Hey, if they would have come to my house and watched the game with me, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I'll pick their brains.
Tennessee 28, Miami 27,
Ooh.
the Giants 24, Green Bay 22. Those to me seem like numbers that would be important if you were gambling or maybe trying to get certain amount of points or win by certain amount of points or a 2-point win by the Giants over Green Bay and again 1 point Tennessee Miami. I don't follow the whole gambling thing. I don't know what the point spreads are, but to me again seems a little strange, but nonetheless we are still here to talk about it every day.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know if there's any ref drama in this game or not, but now anytime it seems like there's a close call, people want to say the officials are now, they're dictating the outcome of the game.
Can you blame people for being a little suspicious though at this point?
No, but at the same time though, too, these will be the same people that will bitch if the penalty is not called. I think call goes the other way to where
speaking
how
of
you know
speaking of penalty called and not called, I just won't go away with this Kansas City game. Jeez, oh man, you know, I heard a Kansas City fan on satellite radio yesterday, and he's going on about this, and he says, well, why did they have to call this penalty? This could have been one of the greatest plays in NFL history. Why did they have to call this penalty every game? They let penalties go. Meanwhile, every game they get let go to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the team that
yes,
that this benefits the most.
yeah,
So one time you get the call against you, which
yeah.
again you couldn't get any more obvious. Of course, we all saw the pictures. We've seen the
Yeah,
pictures. You see this
and the
guy,
flag was thrown before the play happened, so
and the guy's looking directly at that. He's looking back at the ball for crying
yeah.
out loud.
Like I saw a comment, someone's like he was so far offside, he was the Mike linebacker.
He was the Mike linebacker.
He was. And like the best part is, like, I was listening to another podcaster, like 2 years ago, they called this penalty once. Last year, they called it twice. This year became a point of emphasis. They've called it 11 times. So it's in the rule book. It's there. Andy Reid even said, yeah, we were offsides. We're going to talk to Kadarius Toney. Mahomes came out. He's apologized for behavior and said, yeah, we were offsides. It's the fans that won't let it go.
You got to be to not acknowledge that this was a penalty. I don't. It isn't about it happening once, 2 years ago, twice. It's like seriously,
it's a common sense penalty.
Football 101. If you know anything, that guy is offsides, and guess what? The referee's going to throw the flag.
Yeah.
What a dumb argument. And it's just because the Chiefs lost. They lost a big game and they fell. They're barely one of the top few seeds right now in the AFC. They're upset. They're it's getting blown out of proportion, especially with these fans, because again, since the Mahomes era began, the fans, they've become accustomed to getting these kind of calls, having them go their way, having things not get called. And it's going to be a pain in the ass for a while.
Yeah. They try being a Steeler fan or like a Carolina Panther fan when when we had Big Ben and they had Cam Newton, two quarterbacks that never got roughing and passing calls. Those quarterbacks that get beat up. Now you have the face of the league where you breathe on them, it's a penalty.
Unbelievable.
You want to talk about ticky-tacky penalties? Guess what? Your Super Bowl last year would be taken away on a ticky-tacky penalty. You would not have won then. You would have lost that Super Bowl. So you can't have it both ways.
Mike, I have to locate my phone. Go ahead and carry things for just a moment.
And so back to that Miami Dolphins team. Everyone, wants to talk about how great they are. But once again, I'm going to bring up the fact that when the Steelers were 11-0, people were calling them frauds, and they fell off, and they were right. Look at Miami, Derpy. They haven't beaten anyone. Are they a legit contender, or are they just a good team that can beat up on bad teams?
That's the second option.
Yeah, I'm saying they are the team that is just going to beat up on the bad teams inside the NFL. They have no. I just don't think they have it. They've shown so far they can't beat the good teams. They're losing in crunch time. I think they're a fraud. I think they're going to get bounced in the first round if they play a good team. Now, if they end up playing someone like Pittsburgh or I almost said Cleveland with the way the Browns are playing, I think they're a team to look out for. They might be the team on the rise with the way Joe Flacco, if he can keep playing the way he's playing.
And as I said, for the same reason that the Steelers, if they could, land in the playoffs, as bizarre as this season has been, couldn't you see that Cleveland team with that defense being the team that possibly pull this off and go all the way? And as crazy as it is,
team.
If anything says that things are goofy in the league, it would be the Browns winning the Super Bowl.
You know what?
Could we all agree on that?
Yeah, that would be the wildest thing. And I don't know if Derpy would be able to live with that.
Oh, jeez.
His home life would be. I'd feel bad for Derpy.
Derpy would be moving in with you. What are you talking about?
Nope.
Derpy would be at the door with the suitcases.
I tell you what, though, I would be along for the ride for that Browns Super Bowl. I would watch it. I would watch every single game of that.
Because you're a Browns fan.
No, I'm not. I hate.
You're a weird Browns fan. You're this guy. You are in a way. Come on.
I did live.
Listen, you won't be.
I lived in Sandusky for 5 years, and that's all I heard was the Browns, and I had to fight back every day. I stood on the front lines of the Steelers-Brown war, defending the honor of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But I know you.
But I'm a troll. I'm a troll.
You are a troll. So
I would come in.
If you're in Cleveland, you're a Pittsburgh fan. But if you're around a bunch of Pittsburgh fans, you're going to defend Cleveland. And if you're in
I'm not.
San Diego, you're gonna hate the Chargers, but you're gonna love this is what you do. I can only imagine how those 5 years in Sandusky went. And no wonder you're not allowed back in Sandusky.
No,
I mean, they kicked you out.
No, I would laugh at all the Ohio people when Ohio State would play when they go OH. Oh yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, you can spell. They're like, let's go Brownies. I'm like, Brownies, you guys you're named after a cupcake. Okay, that's why you guys suck. Like, yeah, I know, right? Now I'm hungry. But no, I would enjoy the ride of that just because it would piss the us Steeler fans off, and it would make me laugh. Yeah, they're like, I must have the Yinzer Steeler fans, like the hardcore Yinzers, not the intelligent Steeler fans like us and our listeners.
Of course.
Mike,
Mike,
a Myles Garrett jersey might sneak into the rotation back here at some point. I'm just saying. I think it would be funny.
There's a load of problems on this Pittsburgh Steelers team right now.
Oh,
A load, and that's being nice. That's being generous.
Mm-hmm.
Let me start with this because what I want to get into, I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
But I do want to cover real quick. Of course, TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith are both in concussion protocol. The Steelers could be without both of these guys on Saturday when they play the Colts. That's not a good thing. What could it possibly be next with this team, Mike? I mean, right now we're obviously we got a big issue. Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark go on to say that this is all Mike Tomlin's fault. He lost his team again. And somebody even used the example of when we had a San Francisco 49er type team with Antonio Brown, I guess mirroring Deebo Samuel, and Le'Veon Bell mirroring Le'Veon Bell. We managed to lose the team at that point as well. Ryan Shazier on defense. We had a pretty nice team, no two ways about it.
It's been that way since the Killer Bees era, so I don't want to hear that.
I'm sorry, like Ryan Clark is the biggest. He never finds a way to not attack the Steelers. He always does. Ever since he's become a member,
a Steeler fan.
But no, I'm talking about like Ryan Clark. Ever since he became a member of the media, he's gone out of his way to criticize the Steelers in any way he can to show that he's not a homer. I don't know. They're acting like. Do any of these guys know anyone in the locker room right now? No. The only holdover is Cam. And if they've lost the Steeler way, wouldn't he be the lone holdover to keep that Steeler way? That would be an indictment of him to keep that locker room in check, because the players run the locker room. That's true of every sport, every level.
But ultimately,
it's like the locker room is the locker room.
Has control of the team. The coach is the leader. The coach is the face. He's the guy. And it seems to not only.
And how come they're winning games? They're 7-6, sitting at the 6th seed in the playoffs. I don't know how you lost the team.
Well, losing the two straight 2-win teams is the first time in NFL history that this has ever been done.
Hey, it's history making.
There are some things that indicate that this may be the case. I don't know if I disagree with them, and the thing is, I'm not going to point fingers at them. I'm going to look at what they said, and I'm going to say, you know what? We do lose this team quite often. There were situations where I remember when that team was together, and I thought, why is this team not just dominating? We have all the pieces in place. Again, something is wrong here. Something is really wrong with the Steelers team. As players come, as players go, it seems to be the same results by the same football team. Excuse me. Couple big things that happened over the past couple of days. They didn't happen over the past couple of days. People are talking about these things. Tomlin on George Pickens' sideline behavior. Tomlin says he admits George Pickens' attitude is a problem. Frustrations have mounted with Pickens, irate on the sideline multiple times over the season. He also goes on to say it is quote unquote a problem. And Antonio Brown, yes, even the level head of Antonio Brown comes in to try to save the day here for the Steelers. He gives George Pickens some advice.
Oh God.
He says, "Oh God, this is Antonio Brown to George Pickens. You can't come to the game and just be emotional about the ball. You've got to control that frustration. You don't want the quarterback to get stressed out by you."
That was actually sound advice.
That is very good advice.
This
wasn't what I was expecting.
This is like the first 6 years in the league, AB talking, not the last half of his career, AB talking. That was like a mature response from AB.
Not post
very surprising.
AB.
Very surprising. And was it last week or 2 weeks ago? On one of George's outbursts, Deontay Johnson was talking to the media. He's like, I'm trying to do my best, talking to him too, to say, hey, keep it together. We need you, because if you start losing in your mind, you're getting frustrated, and when the ball comes to you, you're not ready. You're not going to be ready there to help the team and make the play. And that's going to make you even more mad and snowball. So two people offering sound advice that you would not think that it would be coming from those two guys. It's just
Like Tomlin hopes Steelers understand the urgency at hand after back-to-back losses to 2-win teams. He hopes they understand.
They better understand.
I don't know what else you could do in a locker room to try to get this team together, to pull the team together at this point. I just don't know. It's
like because if they're not, if you're giving them the message of, hey, you win or we're screwed. And
I mean, what are these
you know what?
termites? Are these mighty mites? You hope that they understand.
They're grown adults who hopefully are paying attention. If not, my God, roster construction.
I could see that message when we were kids playing on the midgets team. The coach hopes that our heads are in the right place because we're 13-year-old kids. What's the problem? I mean, why? What's the what's the resolve to this? Because there's obviously a problem.
Yeah, either some of these players just aren't the type of players that we thought they would be. They, they don't have that type of personality that you thought they would have, or the coach's message has gone stale. It's one of the two, or I think it's a combination.
I do too.
Of both. And I'm not blaming Tomlin for everything, and I'm not absolving blame of him. But at some point, players do have to hold responsibility for their own actions out there on the field.
I mean, every team seems to be fine except for Mike Tomlin's team.
I'm sure you can go throughout the league and find teams that have
absolutely
problems. But we cover the Steelers. We cover the Steelers day in, day out, so it's easy for us to find the problems.
But where's all the locker room drama that I mean, this has become a thing in Pittsburgh.
Because
and people
really locker room
widely
drama.
Outside of Pittsburgh talk about this, about how Pittsburgh, it's just one thing after another on this team, and it's been a problem. And you look all the way back to the Bell Brown days. Again, this is a widely observed observation that we have a difficult time keeping our locker room together.
I'm hearing, but all I'm hearing is from people outside the locker room saying this that aren't even there day in and day out.
I think it's transparent.
Stephen A's not there.
Wouldn't you agree that this is probably the case? I can't find anything that says otherwise.
I don't know how the locker room has been lost. I don't see it. They're going out there. They're playing. Maybe this team's just not good. But I just find
the running back doesn't believe in the quarterback. The coach does it right here. It says right here in quote. He says, Tomlin on GP. It's a problem. End quote.
Yeah.
I mean, these are again. This is just happening over and over. Why don't we focus on putting good football on the field and winning football games again like we did in the past?
That's because the old GM saddled this team with some bad players and bad
whatever. So what we're saying is,
I'm not.
We're losing because of the old GM, is what you're saying.
Like the roster construction needs a total overhaul, and probably the coaching staff too.
Yeah.
So when you have, the problems on both ends, it's.
It's a big problem.
That's a big problem. Oh yeah, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying
I'm not blaming one side or the other. I'm saying we have a big problem and it needs addressed.
We have coaching and player problems, and they both need addressed. And
I think I have I think I have the answer to the problems. I think we can fix the problem. You want to know
what? Derpy needs to go out there and high five people is what we need to have happen.
I know the guy that he high
I want the TJ Watt tattoo.
The person that Derpy high-fived in preseason is literally probably the only Steeler that I feel was worth anything this season. With the exception maybe a couple other guys. But yeah, if you could get out here and just go and touch these guys in some capacity, that seemed to work for Jalen Warren.
You might want to rephrase that. Whatever, Derpy, take one for the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I do have the answer, guys. You want me to tell you how we could? I can tell you we can fix the problem today. Today.
I think I know the answer.
And this is doable, 100% doable, and we could solve the problem now.
I'm ready to hear this,
Derpy. Right now, do you believe me?
Yes.
I literally have the answer.
I want to hear this,
and you know what it is.
I think I know what it is.
Joe Flacco reverted back to the practice squad once again between these two games, where now he is available to be signed by any team in the league. ATM. I don't care if he's Flacco. I don't care if he was a Raven. I don't care if he's been on the couch for 3 years. Joe Flacco, guys, can fix the problem right now. Joe Flacco is a touchdown pass away from tying Kenny Pickett's season total. Flacco's played 7 quarters this season. Flacco has 2 games with 250 yards and 2 touchdowns over the past 2 weeks. The Steelers' offense haven't done that since Ben Roethlisberger retired. If you want to win some football games, put your hand in the waiver, grab Joe Flacco, pull him out. He was sitting on his ass till 2 weeks ago. Guess what? He's came back and he's played better than anything that we've had for 3 seasons. At this point, I don't care. Get Joe Flacco, bring him in, give him a little deal, give him a little bit of money. He's gonna learn. Listen, this guy's a pro. He was a Super Bowl MVP. He knows how to read defenses. He knows how to read coverage. You bring him in, I guarantee this team improves. I guarantee this team is one of those teams that get into the playoffs at the end, because if you watch him play in those Cleveland games, he knows what he's doing. Has he known Cleveland's playbook all season? No, he came to town 2 weeks ago and he's playing out of his mind, playing just as good or better than most quarterbacks in the league. If the Steelers are smart, tuck your pride between your legs, go grab this guy, put him under center, because you want to win football games. If not, are you really trying?
Like, who would have thought, like, Joe Flacco, after what we saw from him last year?
I mean, not even a phone call to this guy. Call him, say, listen, dude, I'll take you right now. We'll give you a contract. We'll give you some money. We're not even going to send you back and forth to the practice squad.
All they have to do is claim him on the practice squad, IR Kenny, because it's looking like he won't be back anyway this year, and then boom, he's on your roster.
Kenny's on a 4-week injury with 5 weeks left in the season. Forget Kenny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. You Kenny's IR, done. You put him on the IR. That way, that frees up the roster spot
go get this
for
guy.
Joe Flacco. You know what?
Omar Khan, you're so smart and so brilliant. You make great moves along the way. Go bring Joe Flacco. You know what? Pittsburgh fans will forget how bad that they hated that retard when he was in Baltimore, because he's going to come here and he's going to pass better than than any quarterback has in 3 seasons here, because that's what he just did with a terrible Cleveland Brown offense over the past 2 weeks, which he didn't know anything about the offense 2 weeks ago. Come on, you're brilliant, Colin. Make the phone call.
I would love to see it happen.
If he came here and won the 4 next games, got into the playoffs, won a
playoff
game,
they built a statue next to him.
Do you think anybody would care that Joe Flacco was wearing black and gold? No. I don't think so.
I don't know.
No one would care.
The jokes would be there. The memes would be there. People would have the things to say. But you know what? When we're winning football games because this guy's putting up over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns a game, we'll all be smiling. Believe me, like the butcher's dog, like on the hockey games, right?
Yeah, like Mike Lang smiling like a butcher's dog, baby. But yeah, I would. You know what? I hate to say it, but I think you might be right. I think you might be onto something. I hate to give you credit.
Like, we could fix this. You can fix this season right now. Make the phone call. It's damn near not even long distance. It's to Cleveland. Call the guy. Come on.
I wouldn't be opposed to it, but my God, I would be. Yeah, it would improve the offense easily. I think that, my God, that would, because he would get the ball. The way he's playing, he would get the ball to George. He would get the ball to Muth. He'd get the ball to Deontay. He'd get the ball to Calvin Austin.
And we could leave all the stuff behind where, Mitch, he hadn't had a chance to play. Well, guess what? This guy hasn't played all season. Mitch doesn't know the recovers. This guy hasn't been on. This guy will come in and immediately improve this football team. It just all depends how bad this organization wants to win.
I think they're still stubborn and they want to win their way.
That ain't going to happen. I can tell you that.
Yeah. And I bet because the way they've done the practice squad, signing players this year, elevating players, and they've played okay for what they are. Trenton Thompson played pretty well. Michael Walker's been steady. Why not? Why not go and steal Joe Flacco off of someone else's practice squad? We've done it before. We've stolen players off the practice squad. We did that last year with Montravius Adams. We stole him off the practice squad, and he played well for that stretch. And now he's become a serviceable member. Why not do it now? Who cares? Because it's a quarterback position, and you don't want to, upset your quarterback room. Guess what? Oh, well, fuck him, because your quarterback room has been playing well this year. And like you said, he's about to surpass Kenny's touchdown production this year. He's probably going to pass the teams.
7 quarters.
He's going to, Kenny has 6, Mitch has 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. Flacco's going to pass them by the end of the year. He might lap them by the end of the year.
Left. You're right. He might lap them. And here's the thing. This guy's not stupid. He looks like a dope, but he played for the Jets. He's learned that playbook. He played for the Ravens. He learned that playbook. He played for the Browns. He learned that playbook. This guy, come on. This is our best option at this point. And as I said, how bad does this organization want to win? Yeah. That's the question.
And they want to win their way, though. I think even the owner is still stuck that way. We're going to win the Steeler way. We're going to win with the guys we have now, unless
we're not. Here's
I
the
know,
thing.
but
How dumb,
that's their
how dumb
philosophy.
does
We're
that
like, we're
sound
gonna
that
win. We're
that
gonna
they
win with
think
our
that
guys.
way?
I know.
Because anybody with a half an ounce of a brain sees that
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. We're
No.
not going to win with what we have. Mitch Trubisky still looks like he doesn't know what he's doing after 10 seasons in the league or
Yeah.
however long it's been. Joe
Yeah.
Flacco will come in and be an immediate fix.
He
And
would
you know
be
what?
the
If we don't like him here in Pittsburgh, then let's can him next year and draft somebody.
yeah.
I think
Like
it's stupid to
it's
let the Browns keep
yeah.
this guy. He's our competition. He's our direct competition.
Yeah, you got to steal him.
Grab him now while he's sleeping.
Yeah. Claim him today so he can't play next week.
Yep.
Screw them over. And who cares if you don't play him this week? Oh well. Shut Kenny down for the year. Just tell him, hey, you're done. You won't be back anyway until the last game of the year. At that point, it's a moot thing because we probably won't make the playoffs. So hell yeah, throw everything at the wall. See what sticks. If Flacco doesn't work out, guess what? You move along, and if you lose out, guess what? You have a better draft pick to where reevaluate the quarterbacks in this one. Maybe Omar Khan's scouting staff is different than Kevin Colbert's scouting staff was, who thought Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett might be the guys. They might, and it's looking like they might not be those guys.
Let me tell you something.
Take a look in this draft, and if you think there is someone, there is go get them.
Scouting staff. You know what the fuck we're talking about, and if you listen to us, you're going to win football games, and you just might go to the playoffs, and you just might win games in the playoffs.
Yeah. Or is Omar Khan being told not to go look for Joe Flacco, or did he was told to and said no? Or that's what I want to know, because why did we drop the ball right there on a division rival? This is a division rival. I can understand if he's out in Arizona doing this, it wouldn't bother me that much, but he's right next door. He's right up north on the team on our
from
heels.
The team that's one game ahead of
us. You. Yeah. If he was sitting out in the AFC or the NFC somewhere, I would but like you said, he is in our division. We are in a playoff battle with this team.
Let them try to figure out how to win with what they have. Let them try to figure out how to win with DTR. Let them try to figure out with I'm telling you, this guy has shown in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Even again, if he's not in the greatest shape of his life, he's shown me enough over the past 2 weeks to he knows enough about football. He's a veteran. He's a smart guy in that sense. Come on. And as I said, it'll save face. With the coaching staff, the owners. It looked like a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
If we get to the AFC Championship game after the season that we had and the start that we had, these guys will be praised for the moves that they make.
Do it, and because if you fail, guess what? People will respect you more and understand more and give you a chance again, because hey, you won out and you were aggressive and you tried to improve the team at the home stretch, and it didn't work out. Why do you think Jim Rutherford was never afraid to trade draft picks for the Penguins to try and win Stanley Cups? Because they tried. Did they win all the time? No, but guess what? They tried, and that's people understand and respect that. That's what we need to do here. The trade deadline's over. Scour that waiver wire, scour that practice squad, and pluck this guy.
And you have then the ball's in your court.
Yeah.
The season comes to an end.
Or claim him and sit him on the bench to screw over your division rival.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a win-win. It's a win-win situation.
It's not just about bringing Flacco to the Steelers. Look at all the other variables that go into this, all the other things, Mike, that play into making a move like this. It's bold. It'll finally have people talking positive about this football Steeler team. Maybe in this team could gain a little confidence back. Right now it's not going to be Mitch. Right now it's not going to be Kenny. You know what? If we want to continue to go the way that this is going and let this fall off the tracks, continue to do what you're doing. Otherwise, be that bold GM.
Yeah.
Be that bold.
Be the bold owner to order your GM to do it.
Yes.
We need something like this because our defense is starting to let up. They're starting to crack.
Worn. I mean,
they're worn out. Attrition for all the injuries.
For 13 games. I mean, you can't possibly depend on your defense if you're not doing anything on offense. The good teams like the Ravens and the Bears of the past and Tampa Bay, there was some kind of an offense there to where it wasn't constantly defense had to win every single game. You can't do that to your defense without them wearing.
Yeah, even our teams were like that. Like when we had Ben, Bell, AB, the offense most of the time carried the load. The defense was able to I don't want to say slack off, but if they had a down game, guess what? We had the offensive firepower to do it. Now we don't. Get someone like Flacco, we're not going to start all of a sudden scoring 35 points a game. But guess what? We might be scoring 25, 26 points a game. That's enough for this defense now because all the injuries they're battling.
Let me ask you this. Now, I just want to off the top say that Flacco is no Peyton Manning, but let me put it into perspective. You think the people from Denver cared that this quarterback who did all these great things in Indianapolis came to their city and helped them win? No, people in Denver didn't care. They went to the Super Bowl and they won a Super Bowl and they loved it.
Yeah, like I've always said, I don't care. The names on the backs of these jerseys don't matter to me. It's the name on the front and that team winning. I don't care who's playing for my team. I just want to win. And if it happens to be Joe Flacco, so be it.
And they could just rip the nameplate right off of Dobbs's jersey, and I'm sure that's still laying around. Give him his old number 5 back, and everybody's happy.
And we're good to go. Let's go out there and grip it, rip it, man.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Now you got me all fired up.
Well, it's not going to happen. I wouldn't get too fired up.
I know, but now I'm thinking it should happen.
What I think is that the league is about. Well, the initial is just winning Super Bowls. That at the end of the day, it's about winning Super Bowls and doing it at all costs to win those Super Bowls. So I agree with everything that was just said about take a look at Flacco, and if it doesn't turn out, well, we can get a better pick.
What could hurt? What can the move?
What could hurt at this point?
Right. And he's not flying off the shelf. It isn't like there's 30 other teams going after this guy. We're in a prime position to snatch him up and as I said, you're gonna stick it to your rival. You're gonna stick it to the guy that was wiping their asses with your terrible talent. You're gonna stick it to this team that just believe they won the Super Bowl because they beat us by a couple points. Stick it to these guys. They're one game ahead of us. This is, again, if I'm a GM, I'm thinking of ways every day to try to win and make things better.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to help the situation immensely by, again, sticking it to the team who's going to need him, because look, he's doing. I mean, what did he put up the other day, guys? 31 points and a 31-27 win over Jacksonville. Well, for one, we lost to Jacksonville. For two, we scored 10 points against Jacksonville. And that was with what we're going with plan A. That was when we still had a healthy QB1. Now, we're in this limbo of suck. What can it hurt to bring this guy in? Again, let's just say it continues to suck. Let's just say we go through the rest of the season and we suck. The end of the year, let's move on and figure out what it is we have to do. But at this point, I can't imagine that we would go backwards any if we made this move.
No. Because what's the worst that happens? We lose out. We're on that trajectory anyway.
I can't imagine that's not going to happen. I'm looking at these teams on the road. Again, Cincinnati's the only team we play at home, and they're playing out of their minds right now with this Browning.
Yeah.
Indianapolis on the road, Seattle on the road, Baltimore. This isn't going to be no easy path. But if you have a veteran back there who knows what he's looking at when he looks across the the other guys.
A Super Bowl MVP.
These guys don't even look like they know what they're looking at when they're back in shotgun and they're looking. I'm thinking, do you even know who the mic is? Do you even know what's going on? But Flacco is a player that does. He's very, very informed in this league, and again, he's battle tested. And
I
don't want to go.
I don't want to go.
Yeah.
What's the, like you said, man? What's the worst that could happen?
And you know what? If we all go back in 10 years from now and say, we all laugh about it, let's just say, remember we brought Joe Flacco?
Remember when we said, let's go get Joe Flacco?
Well, you know what? We're also going to be 10 years from now going, remember we couldn't make the playoffs for 8 years? Remember we couldn't do that or whatever? Come on, guys, make the move. We know the answers here, of course. You know that. Everybody knows we know what's going on here.
Ooh, the two Yinzers know what is up.
That's right. The name is awfully deceptive.
It is. That's the joke.
That's the joke. Once you get the joke, that's then you're
once you realize the joke is we call ourselves dumb because we actually know what we're talking about.
Anybody
you get in on the joke?
This meme with Patrick Mahomes when they put the Karen hair on him.
No.
I've seen that.
That is great. That is great.
He's out there throwing his fit and being entitled, and somebody put a the Karen once over, and then the short, how the Karen haircut is.
Tom Brady was the original Karen.
Tom Brady was a Karen, but man, if he goes every minute with the crying, if you go back and watch this game and watch him freaking out and crying over a
I
penalty that
love
was
it. I love it.
obviously the thing was if it was controversial,
Yeah.
it would be a whole different story. But the penalty was as obvious as can be. You can't get any more obvious than the guy looking back at the football while he's lined up on the line of scrimmage.
I love it. I
But the
love it.
way that they went on every minute, the Chiefs, and especially Patrick Mahomes, pretty funny to see him with that haircut.
I like it. I like it. Pat, what are you doing? You're better than that.
That's what I thought, dude. And
Oh
that's what I
yeah.
thought. I'm watching. That's exactly what I thought. I thought,
I was
dude,
like, come on, dude, you're
Social
better than
media.
that. But he did come out. I think he came out and apologized and said he shouldn't have done that. And apologized. He apologized to Josh Allen, for blowing him off with the handshake and saying what he said. So at least he owned up to it. He admitted, he recognized it. But come on, Pat, don't do that again.
when people are friends or people hang out a lot, or they're married or they're in a relationship, you start to,
You
you
channeled
start
his wife, is what
well,
you're
you
saying.
start to adopt the personality of your other, your significant other or your friend. And I can just imagine that chick. That's how she acts, and just around the house with the emotions and being crazy, because that's what you see when she's in public. Can you imagine that chick in private when she's mad, or when there's something going on? That's what I picture. Her crying and running around and hair sticking straight out, and that's what I picture.
You just like to picture her, don't you?
I do. I like her. I don't get me wrong. I mean, she's the nut. I like her.
You like the crazies.
I do like the crazies. Dallas Cowboys kicker the other night, guys, in that big game against Philadelphia, Brandon Aubrey. He became the first kicker in NFL history that night to make 2 field goals for 59 yards
Ooh.
plus in the same game. I tell you what,
Hmm.
there's some kickers in this league. I'm watching some of these. I can't think of who it was the other night. Maybe it was from the game last night. I don't know. But there's somebody I thought, man, this guy he's excellent. Of course, you have your kickers who are consistent over time, like
Mhm.
great, like Tucker and Boz. But some of these other kickers, they're out there really doing some things, man.
Yeah. I saw that, and people are like, that's better than Justin Tucker. I'm like, yeah, that's like to be in that class, to be, say people putting you in the same sentence as Justin Tucker. That's impressive. But like you said, Tucker does it consistently. Boswell does it consistently. A lot of these kickers, they do it occasionally. But 2 59-yarders in like the same game, nuts.
That's one thing that's kind of discerning is the Cowboys are actually really building a nice team
I
down there,
know. I hate it. I don't
and I
want to
hate to
Yeah.
see it.
see it.
And Dak is playing. Dak is playing at an MVP
Yeah,
level too.
he's
I don't.
playing really
I
good.
keep seeing all that talk, and I'm trying to say no, no. But the more you look at what he's done, oh, I
Yeah.
hate it. I hate it.
Just
But
hope for a
Micah
playoff
Parsons is on the
collapse.
team, so I'm okay with that.
Just hope for another playoff collapse.
Yeah,
That's all we can do.
that's all we can do.
Because when they were good in the early '90s, it was very hard to watch, just because you
Yeah.
hate the Cowboys, and they
Uh-huh.
were they just never lost. I also do want to mention the San Francisco 49ers this weekend became the first team to clinch a playoff spot. They are in the playoffs, if there's going to be any surprise. Um, here's one. If anybody was wondering, some of you may know, some of you may not, but I did. I found out what the deal was last night with the 2 football games at the same exact time on Monday night. ESPN was hoping to bring the Sunday environment of many games unfolding simultaneously to the primetime stage,
No.
and thus engage additional fan bases. Was the purpose for these 2 Monday night games at the exact same time. I don't dig that. I don't like
I
that
don't.
explanation.
Neither do I. Monday night is special. That's like for those 2 teams. It's a reward for basically, hell, you played your teams, played well last year, or you're a team on the rise. Like we're recognizing you as a team that should be on the prime time. And to share that, I don't like that. That's and people are gonna watch the Monday night game anyway because it's Monday night football. People
Right.
tune in. They don't care who's playing. It's Monday night. Thursday night, people aren't going to tune in unless it's like their team or your degenerate gambler. But Monday night football is where it's at.
Of
I don't
course,
like it.
Mike, the Dolphins were up 15 points with 4 minutes left in this football game.
Joke.
So I mean, they were
Any
two great
given
games.
Sunday.
If you were, they're trying to build, they're trying to grow the league. Of course, they're trying to grow fan bases, and they're hitting many different areas this year. And I thought they were both great games, but I agree with you 100%. Monday night is a special thing. It's something that since day one it was made for, as you said, those two teams. If you want to make multiple games on Saturday, which they do, have at it. If you want to do multiple Thursday, whatever you want to do, I don't think that you can maybe over a period of time. But with the generations who are football fans right now and have been NFL fans for their life, it's going to be a hard thing to adjust. And also because Mike, it's the same exact time.
Yeah, like when they do the weekend, like the Monday night kickoff on week 1, they're staggered starts.
Right. I could deal.
They go
on
at the same time, but they're staggered starts.
I don't love it.
Yeah,
but I could deal with that better because I mean, you're scoreboard watching, and what's the sense of that? I mean, I could. I don't know. Not a big fan. Yeah. If I'm going to have 2 games to watch, I want to be able to watch 2 games.
Exactly. Yeah. Excuse me.
What else do we got? Damar Hamlin was 2023's most Googled person, guys. Damar Hamlin from the Buffalo Bills, from the University of Pittsburgh, and from McKees Rocks, right down the river here, was the 2023's most Googled person.
You know what? To beat like someone in the porn industry, well done, sir.
Yeah, man.
Did you figure? I don't know the stats, but I'm just going to say off the top of my head, you would think like something having to deal with the porn industry or porn industry would be the most Googled, and to beat the porn industry, that takes power.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is die on the field and be brought back to life.
And not anybody could beat just beat the porn industry.
No, you have to have something tragic happen to you. I beat the porn industry. Oh wait, or 2.
Yeah, I beat off to the porn industry. Here is your results. Everybody's talking about this Viking Raider game. Like, yes, Viking Raiders.
You and your Viking Raiders
in the NFL, not the WWE. The Viking Raiders game. Here is the drive chart for the game. Everybody, sit back, relax, and take it in. This is every drive and possession of the game. The Raiders started off the game. Punt. Vikings punt. Raiders punt. Vikings punt. Raiders punt. Vikings missed field goal. Raiders punt. Vikings punt. Halftime. Vikings punt. Raiders fumble. Vikings punt. Raiders punt. Vikings punt. Raiders punt. Vikings punt. Raiders punt. Vikings punt. Raiders punt. Vikings field goal. Raiders interception. Vikings punt. Raiders fumble. This is almost unreal to me.
And people have the nerve, the
maybe they just have good defenses
to attack a Matt Canada offense. At least it puts up 13 points a game.
And I got to say this, Kenny had his best game offensively against the Raiders.
Yeah, he did. I was going back through looking at stats before the show. I'm like, hey, pretty good game against the Raiders.
So, it doesn't like these two teams have amazing defenses.
No.
And the Vikings looked like a semi-decent team 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
With the scoring and the dogs and Justin Jefferson. And I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know if I could have sat through this, but I wish
God, no. That's the game. Like, if I was a fan of either of those teams, I don't know if I could have sat there and watched that.
There was a game back in 1992. I remember watching. It was a 6-3 Steelers win over the Vikings. And it was the same kind of thing. And I remember just thinking it was Dennis Green, and it was Cowher's rookie season with the Steelers. And I remember it was that same kind of game. And I thought, is anybody even going to score anything?
Yeah.
6-3, we ended up beating Minnesota that season.
That's just a comedy of errors in that game. That's when you can't do anything right. Neither team could capitalize off of turnovers. Like, come on now.
Yeah. I mean, nobody, come on.
God.
Nobody did anything.
That's like, come on. We saw better games in the USFL.
You're right. Central
That's just
Catholic.
One of those. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say that's one of those games where both teams are like, shit happens. You just move on from it.
You're right.
You burn the game film. We ain't watching that, coach.
Central Catholic, of course, a big high school football team from Pittsburgh. As a matter of fact, they're the team that's usually in the 6A championship instead of North Allegheny. Central Catholic teammates reunited after the Indianapolis-Cincinnati game, where Indianapolis defensive back Rodney Thomas and Cincinnati's long snapper Cal Adomitis. Now, these two guys were teammates in high school. And it was cool because they did get to, meet in the middle of the field after the Cincinnati Bengals and Indianapolis Colts game and exchange jerseys. But again, more from the people that
from
come
this area, man,
from the Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area. They're sprinkled all through the league. I mean, if you look around, you always know the big names, but if you look around, there's a lot more than you know. Yeah.
Like people like to talk about, all Texas, Florida, California, the big hotbeds for pros. Right. Western PA, man, we've been putting them out since, my God, the beginning of the NFL.
Absolutely, man.
Joe Namath, baby.
Yeah, Broadway Joe. The Jets, boy. That Zach Wilson. He played a great game.
Yeah, I think he told, I don't know if it's I think he told one of his teammates, because the teammates said it to the media. He's like, Zach literally went out there. He goes, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm going to play like I don't give a fuck, because what are they going to do? Bench me again? He went out there and played with zero. He played carefree. And look what happened. He played a hell of a game. More quarterbacks need to just go out there and be like, I'm going to play the way I need to play to succeed. If you bench me, oh, well, fuck it.
I heard it. Now, this is a real from the real sources, Mike. In the huddle, I heard that Zach Wilson gets in there and he gets real tight with the guys. He called him in. This really happened. And they lean in and he goes, "Hey, I tell you what, if we win, I won't do your moms tonight." And it ended up being the greatest performance by
Zach all Wilson those guys were like, Zach, you ain't touching my
mom. And the thing is, they know he's he does this.
Yeah, they're like, white devil, you're staying away from my mama.
That's right.
But no, real quick, I was listening to the radio and Ben was talking, he thinks, there's coaches in Kenny's ear saying, hey, play it safe.
Right.
And they asked him, hey, did they ever tell you that? He's like, they told me. Did I listen? That's a different story. Sometimes he's like, you just have to go out there and play your game.
Gotta love number 7, man. Come on. He's the guy from our generation. You know what I mean? We weren't born. We weren't there to see the 70s. Us guys in our and he's our guy. Big Ben will. He's our guy. Guys, let's go to Pitt. I want to talk about this Cade Bell briefly. I brought him up yesterday. I said the Pitt Panthers hired him. Let's talk about some of the accolades that he has. The term that Pat Narduzzi used to describe him says, we hired a crazy successful OC Cade Bell from the Western Carolina team. He was the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach down there. These are his numbers and things that he was able to accomplish as the offensive coordinator. They had the first in total offense, first in scoring, first in rushing, first in passing efficiency, first in first down, first and third down efficiency, first in red zone, and his team broke the WCU total yards record plus the passing TD records. Western Carolina. I mean, if this team is doing this, I have to think that this guy has, he might know what he's doing, Mike.
Yeah. In college, more than in the pros, man, schemes matter. And if he can bring that scheme up to Pitt, they have weapons on the team. Like I said yesterday, man, they just need to find a quarterback who can run that system. They just
can't ever get that quarter. Why don't maybe one of these Ohio State guys that are bailing on the Buckeyes? Like that McCord. His name landed on
transfer portal.
Yeah. Like Derpy's right. They got to scour that transfer portal. Do better than they did last year at Jerkovich.
Yeah. Well, maybe they lived and they learned with Jerkovich, hopefully. But
they just need to not let that spoil them on the portal. You
need to, exactly. You need a quarterback in college, and I'm known for saying this over and over and over and over and over and over. Every college football team that you ever see or ever seen that's been successful had a good quarterback. You can't not have a quarterback like Pitt, for example. This past, you can't go in with these guys expecting to have a good year. These guys are bums. They're bums.
Yeah,
and you have to go out there and find that guy, and that would play part to your scouting, your things like this. So guys, pull it together. You have your offensive coordinator now. You're happy. I'm happy. You just got to go get a quarterback. Somebody, and the thing is, you're not asking for the guy to throw 1,000,000 yards. You're just asking for a guy that could play that position well.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. Kenny wasn't the best quarterback in the world, but he was a good quarterback, and he did the job. Yeah. This is what you're looking for. You're not, you're never going to find, the Joe Montana every year. You're never going to find. It's just not going to happen.
No, and in today's football, you don't have the time to wait for a quarterback to develop like the way Kenny did. It took him 5 years to get to that point.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that as a knock to him, but like you can't have that wait anymore. You have to be good, or guess what? We're going out into the portal and we're getting someone who's ready to play right now.
I agree.
We're going to get a backup quarterback who was a 4-star recruit who can't crack the lineup, and he's going to come in and take your job. So you better be able to.
There's so many of these guys out there because the guys, these top guys, they take up these top schools. So the guys that are just lower than that, they kind of get put in that position. Now, do I want to play on a team like Pitt maybe, or do I want to stand on the sideline behind a quarterback that's really, really good and possibly win a championship or whatever? We have to find that guy. That's the guy you have to go out and find.
Do I want to be the third stringer at Ohio State, or do I want to go start at Pitt?
Exactly.
You never know when your chance is going to come at Ohio State. If it will come, because they rotate in 5-star quarterbacks year after year. It feels like, that's what they have to find. Find that guy who's discontent with, broken promises.
Pittsburgh Penguins back in action tonight, Mike. The Penguins host the Coyotes. Coyotes coming with a 13-12-2 record. The Penguins with an 11-12-3 record. That game is tonight at 7 p.m. The big question is, are we going to be able to find that power play, Mike?
I'm going to go no.
It hasn't happened yet. Huh?
It hasn't happened yet. They've had how many days off to try and figure this out? Mike Sullivan did get the dreaded vote of confidence from the GM. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know. There's some movement. There's been talk about maybe bringing back Kessel, and I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind that because he's a power. He knows how to work on the power play,
right?
And for me, that I would love that. Or Mario, get your back in shape, stand on the left half wall and direct that power play.
Had a nice
or the right half wall. I think that was left side. Yeah, just stand in the spot
the other night, Mike, and they had a nice show for Horny. They had Patrick Hornquist was in the house. It was really cool, man. I hear a lot of the guys talking about him, and it was nice. It was nice.
He was like the heart and soul of that team.
Oh man,
he would just.
We need a Horny. We need somebody like this. We need a
Horny. Like just hearing stories of like people of the guys saying like on those cup runs, like how battered his body was, just black and blue all over because he just goes stand in front of the net.
That's what being a man is. He's a man.
Yeah,
he's a man's man.
Yeah. When people say, "Oh, I'm an alpha male," no, you're not. Look at Patrick Hornquist. That goofy looking smile, his perfect hair,
that little goofy redheaded comb over.
Yeah, and he would just stand there and get his ass beat, and then smile at people.
I love.
Yeah, like I see, like Hagelin made it into town for the celebration. As well for the ceremony. Yeah,
a lot of guys. A lot of guys were in. Mike, this a friend of mine sent this to me. I don't know this to be true. I didn't see it, but I can't say that's not true either. Tell me if this is correct. Ohtani to defer $68 million per year will earn $2 million per year in a 10-year deal with the Dodgers, and will get paid the remainder of the deal between 2034 and 2043. It sounds basically like something to reconstruct his contract so the Dodgers basically don't go bankrupt in the meantime.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so, this is true.
Wow, that's amazing. 2043. Bobby Bowe, another
exactly. Bobby Bowe was the original, man. But yeah, there is a loophole in there. You can defer an unlimited amount of money.
Wow.
And they found a guy who was like, "Fuck yeah."
And he's only getting paid $2 million a year, which is a lot to guys like us. Yeah. But in the baseball world, that isn't much of.
And baseball contracts are guaranteed, I believe. So he's even if he gets hurt, guaranteed money coming in, and that's smart, man. That's just generational wealth right there.
Well, he is the best baseball player, in my opinion, maybe in the history of the game. Pay the guy like he is because, whether you think the amount is what these guys should be getting paid or whatnot, he deserves whatever the top is. I have never seen anybody in my life or heard of anybody that has the talent that he has.
I have no problem with athletes getting paid what they can get paid. They bring how much money in revenue to justify that salary. So
and that's the thing. If that's what the going rate is in the business and the companies, and if you're making $40 an hour in insurance, who am I to say that that's not fair? Because that is what they're paying you. So I agree, Mike. I like this guy. I like Ohtani. He's going to be fun. Now he's in a National League. He probably didn't even have to change locations. He went from one LA team to another. But he will be in a National League for the next decade, and we'll be seeing our share of him here in Pittsburgh. So that'll be fun to get up there and check out Ohtani.
And he probably won't win anything because the Dodgers, they're like the anti-Yankees. They spend all this money and no championships to show for it. It feels like.
Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
Oh my God, the fastest hour of the day.
Always.
Yeah, it's my love life. The 2dumyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZRS.com. I heard you chuckle, Derpy. Head on over there. All of our socials links are over there. Our link to Spotify is over there. The merch store is over there, and the blog is over there as well. Maybe there'll be a blog post about Joe Flacco coming up.
There you go. All right.
Hey, maybe not. I don't know.
Go check it out, everybody.
Maybe a blog post about Derpy.com.
www.the2dumyinzers.com. I got something special planned for Derpy as the year rounds out. So don't spoil him at this point because I have something special for him coming up a little bit later this year. But that's all I'm going to say. So, guys, we are going to talk. We're going to do a Indianapolis Colts trivia question again today. Of course, this is who the Steelers play on Saturday. That's right. It's a Saturday game along with 2 other football games. But today we're going to talk about the Indianapolis Colts in this trivia. Guys, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. Which Colts quarterback set an NFL record with 4 consecutive games with at least 120 passer rating? Which Colts quarterback set an NFL record with 4 consecutive games with at least a 120 passer rating? Take a minute to think that over, fellas. If you'd like choices, I'll certainly give them to you. But we're live, everybody, 5 days a week right here from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you can't catch the show, or maybe you'd rather just listen to the show, we upload the brand new show that we do live every single day over on Spotify at 8 o'clock p.m. in podcast form. If you're at the gym, you're in the car, you're just away, and you want to listen to us, you could always go over to Spotify. The brand new show is up every single day at 8 p.m. Go check it out. All right, guys. The question of the day is this. Of course, it's a Colts question. Which Colts quarterback set an NFL record with 4 consecutive games with at least a 120 passer rating? Would either of you like the choices? As if the choices would change for any Indianapolis Colts quarterback question. You're generally always going to get the same guys, but I can give you the choices.
Give me choices.
All right, Derpy, do you want? All right. Is it A, Andrew Luck, B, Johnny Unitas, C, Earl Morrell, or D, Peyton Manning? Guys, again, I'm looking for the quarterback who set the NFL record for 4 consecutive games with at least 120 passer rating. Andrew Luck, Johnny Unitas, Earl Morrell, and Peyton Manning. I'm going to start with Mike today. Mike, who was the quarterback that set this record?
Let's see. On the board, Brian is saying Johnny U.
Why am I not getting anything on the board, Mike?
It just popped up. It just popped up. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Screw it. I'll go with Johnny Unitas.
All right, Johnny Unitas. Is that your final answer?
Fuck it. Why not? Hell yeah.
All right, let me lock you in. Brian on the board did say Johnny Unitas. Derpy, which Colts quarterback set the NFL record with 4 consecutive games with at least a 120 passer rating? Was it A, Andrew Luck, B, Johnny Unitas, like the guys are saying, C, Earl Morrell, or D, Peyton Manning? Who do you think?
I'm going to play it safe.
Okay.
Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas. So you're saying that everybody's saying that he is the guy that set this record. Let me lock you in, Derpy. All right, there you are. Which Colts quarterback set an NFL record with 4 consecutive games with at least 120 passer ratings? The choices were Luck, Unitas, Morrell, and Manning. Everybody says Johnny Unitas, and everybody is correct. Johnny Unitas is the guy that set that record.
Heck yeah.
Great job, guys.
I just took a guess. I followed the crowd.
Yeah, sometimes that's a smart thing to do, you know? If you don't know, I don't know. I don't know. Does that make sense? It sounded right. It sounded right at the moment. Mike, anything before we get ready to take off?
I got nothing. Saturday can't get here fast enough. I want to watch some Steelers football.
Derpy.
Don't lose hope on our beloved Steelers.
All right.
Fair enough.
I do want to say thank everybody for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we couldn't do it without you. My thing of the day is this, guys. I don't know if anybody saw this story in the news. 57-year-old woman enters an MRI machine with a gun and it goes off and shoots her in the ass. This is where we are. This is where society is. Yes, people. Woman goes into an MIR machine. You've seen these things. For some reason, felt necessary to keep her gun on her. The gun goes off and shoots her in the ass. And there you have it. But
that is great. That is great. That could have been a whole podcast episode right there, buddy.
It really could have.
After the Steelers lose Saturday, that's going to be Monday's episode.
You're right.
We'll come back. The whole show will be changed. Then we're Steelers talk.
You're right. So anything else, guys? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
No, I can't top that one. I was scouring Twitter for something good. There's nothing.
There's nothing. I've heard it all now after that.
All right, guys. Well, hey, for the two dumb Yinzers, Mike, Derpy, myself, everyone have a great day.